One of the things that I think is so interesting about this work, the Safety and Justice Challenge, as in MacArthur terms, and with our partners, 50 jurisdictions around the country, jurisdictions that are led by people of multiple parties and representing many, many types of communities, is that this isn't, strictly speaking, a partisan issue. It's not, strictly speaking, a left or a right issue, although some people may perceive it that way. And often you're in conversation with those on the conservative perspective, and I'm curious how that goes, and to the extent that you meet opposition with this approach or thought, how you meet that opposition.
Sure. So I guess I would start with just kind of how I go into any of those conversations. Really, I think whether I'm talking to somebody on the left or the right, I really approach the conversation the same, which is I'm going in to talk to another human who is just that, a human, and that we probably have more in common than we have different. And I think a great example of this is as a prosecutor, you go to trial a lot. And when you get into trial, the first thing you do is jury selection or voir dire. And you have a bunch of people in there who it's early, they're tired, they don't want to be there. And so you kind of have to ask some questions to kind of open them up and get them going. And one of the go-tos for a lot of baby prosecutors, like I was at the time, is to say, who is super excited to be here today? And nobody really raises their hand. They kind of laugh. And then you ask, well, who doesn't want to be here? So I think it was my second or third jury trial ever. And that's exactly what I did. Went up there and asked those questions. When I asked, all right, who doesn't want to be here today? The defendant at his table raises his hand right up in the air, and everybody just busted out laughing. And I think that just shows we are all human. Defendants are human, prosecutors are human, policymakers are human. And we none of us want to be in trial, right? None of us want to be doing those things, but we are all human in that we have a family and a dog and a favorite movie. And when we think about how we can really just converse on policy with that human in front of us, and that we can focus on the things that we do have in common, that can really benefit the conversation in total. The criminal justice system is adversarial by nature. Politics is adversarial in many ways. And so too often people go into these conversations and they think they're addressing the opposition instead of saying, what do we have in common and what can we really build upon for that? And I will tell you, regardless of what side of the aisle, every policymaker I've ever talked to cares about public safety. They want to make sure that their family and friends are safe, that their community members are safe. Every single one cares about a fair system. Nobody wants to see somebody discriminated against. I'm sure there's some bad people out there. I have not met them. And so when you really just think about these key components and what you're talking about is the solution to get there, it makes for a more productive conversation than fighting over really like just this defense offense kind of position a lot of people go into when they go to talk to people.